100,000 on a beat.
All right, welcome into the Berkeley Football Coaches Show, the first show of the 2026 season, along with Coach Eric Lodge. I am Lane Walford. Coach, I mean, you opened the season with a nice 36 to nothing win over Stratford. Maybe left some points out there, but still to get a shutout the first game of the season against a quality opponent is always good.
Yeah, all in all, I was pleased with our performance. Definitely some rust. We had the jamborees canceled here due to weather. That was a opportunity to kind of clean some of this stuff up in a game. And when you miss that, you're cleaning some of it up week one. So, but I was happy with the way we competed. Obviously we made some mistakes that we'll look to correct, but it was a good performance for the Stags.
Always better to correct mistakes after a win than a victory. So let's go ahead and go to the first half highlights here. The Stags start out on defense.
Come out, first couple plays for them, end up going backwards. We got a 3rd and 12 here, start the game. Come out. They're running a concept. We flush the quarterback, do a good job of that. We give up the flat and rally. That's exactly what you want to do in 3rd and long and force them into a punting situation.
Yeah. Young quarterback start. First time in 4 years they've had to start a different quarterback other than Jake and Davis. So this kid will be good as he gets older, but only a 10th grader right now.
That's right. And they actually played 2 quarterbacks. One was more of a pocket presence, but even though you see 10 kind of escaping the pocket and keeping his eyes down the field. The other one was more of a runner, and they both presented some challenges. And like you said, I think they'll be good players, as the years go on. This is the next play after that. They line up, punted. I wasn't real happy with our pressure that we put on the quarterback in our punt block return. Luckily this guy, I think Cam McHugh is probably the best returner in the Low Country. I mean, this guy's he probably had 5 or 6 kicks, whether punts or kickoffs, returned for touchdowns last year. A lot of those, just like this one, got called back due to, dumb procedural penalties or us just not being smart in our blocking assignments here. This is something we had to work hard to correct last year. We did the same thing. You see us right there. We get a block in the back. That's unnecessary.
It's an easy call.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. You don't need to do that. And now in 2026, I mean, you got to be really cognizant on these kicks of coming back on somebody too. They're trying to take that out of the game.
Yep.
So, we'll work. The more we get to rep this, I think the better we'll get at it as the season goes on.
It's almost better, to just stand there. Don't just hope to get in somebody's way, but don't mess Cam up, because some kids are just really good at controlled chaos. And I feel like that's what Cam is when he's returning punts. It's just chaos out there for everybody but him, and he knows what he's trying to do.
Exactly. And this one kind of stung to see, because last year in the second half we had 2 touchdown called back. If we score one of them, we win the game. And I mean, it is a hard pill to swallow to open the season, but I think we got it together.
Good. So now you get a chance to trot Henry and the offense out there.
That's right. Come out here. We got good starting position. Good job out of the defense setting us up here. We're just trying to get this ball out on the perimeter of Bryson McGee and let him go. He's tough out there in open space, as you can see. Actually ends up fumbling the ball here. We got to do a little bit better job of ball security. He doesn't really have issues like that normally, so we'll just clean that up as we go forward. But, I mean, you can see he's really dangerous when he gets out there in the open space.
I feel like he's been a different kid in the scrimmage and the game this year. Like he's almost just a man on a mission. That, you know, a little bit of a sophomore slump last year, but looks like a totally different kid so far.
Yeah, I like where his head's at, and he's been doing a great job in fall camp and preseason practice.
And LJ just picks up right where he left off last year.
Yep. We come out here, we run a little split zone with a receiver coming in motion. We're really trying to diagnose how they're playing this. You know, you see he pulls two defenders out of the box there, and we end up with a nice little easy run here on first and goal.
So LJ with the first touchdown of the season officially gives the Stags a 7-0 lead here in the first quarter. Back on defense. And I think this is the other quarterback you were talking about here for him.
Yeah, I'm pretty, they kind of got off of this, but they were 1-to-1, throughout the game. But you can see this guy, I mean, when he sticks his foot in the ground, he's athletic, man. He's quick. So good job, on the defense, kind of corralling him and limiting his feet. I thought we did a pretty good job of that all night. Especially with these runners and guys that look to run first, you got to be on your P's and Q's with your run fits and your responsibilities.
I mean, other than last names President and McHugh, it was really a new name defense for you the other night. You got to be proud of the way they played. A bunch of new guys playing. Yeah,
that's right. I mean, you see right here, Chance Coleman. He's actually a Berkeley kid that had moved away to Georgia, and he's back now. You should see him. He plays super hard. He had a really great game last night. 5 in your picture. Yeah. He's a freshman, Marshawn Porche. We're really excited about him. Yeah. We've got plenty of talent, but that experience is something that's lacking.
Back on offense, and Henry just making something out of a mental mistake on his part, and then just makes it into a huge play.
Yep, he did a good job. This is actually a straight up design pass that he just kind of makes something out of nothing, like you said, after dropping the snap. We're really trying to get the ball quick out here. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of real estate to work with. We try to bring this corner in here and throw one out here. I think if we get this ball out here to Elijah Mitchell, we probably score. I think this kid would have a real tough time tackling him. But Henry does a great job of picking it up, and you know what? Hey, there we go. Use my feet and make something out of nothing. Yep. That's a pretty good something.
Yeah, we've seen that once or twice the last few years. Thought the offensive line played pretty well the other night. Another unit that has a lot of new names. Really, the only part of offense that has a lot of new names for you.
Yeah, I mean, in a veteran, experienced offense, there's a couple new faces up there, and those guys, we performed really well. Hopefully we can continue that trajectory.
Yep.
Come out here, we tried to get on the ball and go fast, run a little power read. Good job out of Henry running through some arm tackles and getting another first down. Get bogged down here in the red zone. We were pretty upset that we didn't come away with points here. Ryland, he does a great job in practice nailing these. We practice this every day. This is something that I don't expect to happen.
Just pulled it just ever so slightly to the left here. Looked good when it came off his foot, standing at the other end, and just kind of curved right on out.
So here they come up. This is the next play on offense, 1st and 10 for them. Try to throw a little smoke screen out here. Really good job out of Marshall Moultrie, another new face on the defense. He's a 10th grade corner, a kid that we think has a tremendous amount of upside and is going to be a really good player in the next couple of years.
Always good to see that many hats to the ball.
Yeah, if you're not running to the ball on defense, you can't play for Coach Lodge, so that's a must.
But now you got them backed up. I mean, against an inexperienced quarterback, regardless of which one they had, if you can get them to lose yards on first down, their backs are against the wall here with a long second down.
That's right. You see here that, I mean, their running back is running the ball really, really hard. And I actually, you know, if we let this play out and run here, you'll see me walking out here kind of mad. I thought that we didn't do a great job of all attacking the ball carrier. We thought it was kind of wrapped up, and you see guys kind of relax and stop.
Yeah.
Good job out of Julius Milligan, though, sticking his hat in there. He puts his hat right on the ball. That ball comes out, and we recover it. Get a good view of it right there.
Which that looks like 3 different linebackers than you had in there the first possession as well. So it looks like you had not just new faces, but a lot of new faces.
Yeah, we've got a good little rotation going. The guys that we've got in there right now, Brooks Arnold and Avery Everett, those are the experienced guys that have played in this defense. They're seniors. You know, they just kind of sat behind some really, really good dudes, you know, the last couple of years.
So you get to turn over, you start deep in their territory.
Yep, we come down, we move the ball, we go, you know, tempo on them and try to get those guys, you know, not lined up and get one in the end zone.
Yep, LJ again. Last year, LJ started with a bunch of yards right out the gate, not as many touchdowns.
That's right.
Good to see him get in the end zone a few times the other night.
Yeah, last year, you know, all the poor running backs last year, we had Jameer Hayward who come in there and it was such a monster,
Correct.
You know, but, you know, it was good to see those guys touch paint, you know, here early in the season.
Right. Here's one of your few returning starters from last year.
Yep, Ja'Kai Chapman off the edge there. You see, you know, their O-line, they don't do a great job navigating this pressure that we're running off the edge. And, you know, you got a big hit on the running back here.
Yeah. Yeah, he almost could have taken the handoff himself.
We got him in third down and about 13-14. You see the quarterback take off. He's, I mean, super quick. We've got somebody dedicated for him because he's a runner.
Yep.
You see Aiden President right here, but even that's tough. You know, there he goes, and you know, good tackle in the open field out of Marshawn Porche, getting him on the ground. You know, and that's why this guy's out here. I mean, number 5, like I said, he's going to be a big time player. You know, as he gets older.
It's not a bad running back either.
He's a really good running back, too. That's a secret.
Finally in the second quarter here.
Here they come out. We kind of trade, not doing anything with each other, and then they come out. They're formation into the boundary, try to run jet. Great play here out of Copeland President. You see him back here at safety. You know, he's 10 yards deep off the line of scrimmage. The play's coming to him. Comes up here and makes a tackle for a loss. You know, I mean, this is what college coaches want to see out of defensive backs and safeties. Run down the alley, wrap up, make tackles at the line or behind the line of scrimmage. That's a big time play right there.
So get them behind the chains again to start a series, which seemed to be a reoccurring theme for the defense.
Yeah, really tough out of them. They struggle to run the ball, and when you struggle running the football, you know, the rest of your offense is gonna, you know, struggle, and it's gonna be tough for you. You see here, they're just trying to get what they can get and make it a manageable third down. But you just see the defensive line, the defense just swarm. You know, those guys are really tough to block.
I mean, at 14-0, it felt like more than that at this point in the game.
Yeah, there was a noticeable difference. You might not see this on film as much, but just in the physicality of the two teams, I thought that there was a big difference.
Which Coach McDaniel knew would be a little bit of a rebuilding year for them. They lost a lot of seniors last year as well. They on both sides of the ball for them.
They're coming out here, run a little RPO, stick option. We're reading this linebacker in here in the box. Earlier in the game, he's kind of sitting here, and a lot of these are getting thrown. The more we throw them, though, the more that guy kind of creeps out there and tries to take that away. So, come out here. This is why you have built-in rules. Great job out of Henry seeing this. Really good run out of LJ, and a good job out of the offensive line, as we push this ball up here, get a first down. You see the offensive line right here. Great job out of Sion Holmes, getting up here to the next level. Right, good job out of the offense.
So time trickling down here in the second quarter. Really good opportunity to put some points on the board and get the ball first in the third quarter.
That's right. We come out here, run a little outside zone with the quarterback. At the point of attack, it's not really there. I don't think we did such a good job sealing the edge and getting a push. But when you have a dynamic runner like Henry Rivers, he comes back here, he sees some daylight, cuts it back, makes one guy miss. One thing I really want to highlight, all right, while I got it paused here, back here, this is big time winning football. Correct. Right? This takes average yards gained, right? Decent plays into big home run plays. Just the effort that Jonathan Mitchell gives all the way through this run and allows Henry to kind of tiptoe in. First half of that play, great job out of Henry. But at the end of that, just continuing to play it out, Jonathan Mitchell, big shout out to him.
Correct. Once a receiver understands that catching the football is only part of being a receiver, that's when they can really take it up to the next level. And I feel like this is going to be that for Mitchell, who's already had big catches in his career, but now a senior, now you're hoping to get the complete package out of him.
That's right.
I think he's well underway.
That's right. How can you affect the game without the ball?
Correct.
And that's, at receiver, you can never guarantee that I'm going to get the ball. There's a lot of things got to break right for you to be able to get it, but you can still have an impact on the game.
Yep.
We got them in another 3rd and 8. We actually do a pretty poor job covering this concept here. Our nickel out here kind of bites, but great job out of Cam McHugh. He recognizes it, backside searches, and is right there to make a play on the ball. And then another good return out of him, and we got the ball back deep in their territory again.
Yeah, Cam had a big night. Every facet of the game for him.
See here, this is the end of the half. We're trying to just get down here. It's 4th down, roll out. We're going to throw the ball, get out of bounds, and give ourselves another chance to run a play with, a little bit closer to the end zone. We're a little bit more of a threat. Unfortunately, we don't catch the ball. Good execution out of everybody, except all the way up to the point, of the catch. But, like I said, week 1, you're working out those kinks still.
Correct. It's a good week to be trying to work them out there. So Stags with a 20-0 lead at halftime. Like I said, it with all due respect to the opponent, it felt like it was more than that going into the half.
Yeah, like I said, we were out there. There was a noticeable difference in intensity and physicality, and that's a testament to the kids that we have, the program that we're running here, and what we do in the weight room. And we left points on the field, but hey, my message to these guys at halftime is you were in the same position last year against this team, and don't relax. You got to come out, keep your foot on the pedal, and finish the game until the clock hits 0.
It's a good point. So Stags 20-0 lead. We'll take a quick break and come back with the second half highlights of Berkeley versus Stratford. All right, welcome back into the Berkeley Football Coaches Show along with Coach Eric Lodge. I'm Lane Walford. Stags 20-0 lead over Stratford after the first half. Coach, we'll go ahead to the second half highlights here against the Knights and you're on defense here.
Yep. So we actually received the ball. Really didn't do much with it. We quick kicked out of our offensive formation. Henry can punt the ball too. I mean, it feels like he can do just about everything. And punts it all the way down, gets them just inside their 2-yard line. It's first and goal for them, or first down, P and 10. We come out here, play one. They've had a hard time blocking us up front. You know, here again, have a hard time blocking us again.
Yep.
I'd like to really commend the coverage on the back end here for this sack, which ends up being a safety. There's not really anywhere for this ball to go.
I would assume it was supposed to be a quick pass, not one that they wouldn't have wanted all this time to take it to develop here and let this happen. So.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what they're trying to accomplish here with this concept. They're running 4 verts in the quarters coverage, you know, so it's a good job out of us getting the safety and getting home for 2 points.
So now 22-0 and getting the ball back.
Get the ball here. We're going to throw the ball really quick out here to Jonathan Mitchell. Right, great route, good job. You know, being physical and getting those few extra yards after the catch. Good timing on that play by Henry and John Boyd.
Hey, you make a good block for your quarterback downfield. He's going to come back looking for you.
That's
next
right.
time.
Here throwing the ball. A really good catch out of LJ. You see him get excited here. He doesn't catch the ball too much, so he ends up spikes it. You know.
Well, he took a good hit after the fact.
That's right. If you've seen him trying to catch the ball on a daily basis in practice, you would know how exciting that is that he caught the ball. But really good job out of Henry here. And I think he's done a great job of this in fall camp and in practice. You see a good job him stepping up in the pocket and keeping his eyes down the field.
Yep.
In the past, you know, a lot of times he's looking to run and pull that down. But I mean, this is teach tape right here. But you know what? You get moved off your spot, step up, keep your eyes down, and deliver a strike for a touchdown.
He does that later in the game. We'll see as well. Yeah. Linebacker comes off of LJ to try to get Henry and get, like you said, perfect job by him. So here they are, still rotating quarterbacks.
1st and 10 for Stratford, still struggling to run the ball. Chance Coleman on the tackle. We got some other hats in there too. Next down, they were throwing it. There's Chance again with the sack.
How many sacks the other night, do you know, off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I think we had 4 or 5 sacks. You know, even without sacking them, though, I mean, there's just a ton of pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah.
I believe we had 5 turnovers also. So anytime you're getting that much pressure and you're turning the ball over, it's going to be a good night for you.
Did they get donuts this week?
They got donuts.
Okay.
That's what we do.
Okay.
You see the next drive here, or the next down here, they go to throw. I don't know if he just drops the ball or we kind of knock it out. You see we're up there pressuring in his face. There's a ball, another fumble recovery, you know, for the defense.
You know, it's just one of those nights for both teams. One you felt like you could do no wrong, and one that just couldn't get out of their own way.
Yep. 3rd and long here. don't have the quarterback in. We like the matchup down here. We just try to, give our guy a shot. Elijah's, he's not new to stepping in there in an emergency case. I think he does a pretty good job of getting the ball out after initially dropping it and just giving us a chance down there. Sets us up for another field goal situation. I think Ryland probably ends up overcorrecting this. The first one, he hooks it left. This one, I think he got in his head a little bit, pushed it right.
Yeah.
Like I said, these are things that all get worked out.
He's done it before, so I'm sure he'll be fine. He'll get it worked out.
Right here we bring two off the edge. A little odd front. Great job out of Jalen Wigfall here, tugging slingshot down the line on the down block and, meeting the running back right there at the moment of truth.
I know I asked about sacks. A better question might have been just how many tackles for loss, because it seemed like in the backfield most of the night. A lot of hats to the ball there.
In the third quarter, a little pitch and catch out there to John Cleveland. He's turned into a football player.
Yes.
I'm really proud of John. His first year ever playing football was last year. And he comes out here, obviously catching the ball. He's a great athlete, but just the way he's finishing these runs, just
not running out of bounds.
Bring a tear to my eye.
Yeah, he got better every week last year. You could just see he was growing every week, and by the end of the year, he was, I thought, the best receiver, and he looks to capitalize on that this year.
See here, we hit them with some tempo. Nobody on defense is lined up. Hoping that could have been a little bit bigger run with them not being lined up, but they kind of get us with a little arm tackle there. Usually that ends up being bigger yards for us.
Yeah. I think this is one where Henry does a good job of what you said earlier. Stepping up in the pocket, but still keeping his eyes downfield after making guys miss.
I mean, this is one of the more amazing plays I've seen a quarterback ever make, honestly. I mean, he's got two free hitters up in his face, drops one to his knees and spins out of the other one, puts his eyes back down the field and puts it out there for a touchdown. Ashton Hike here, great job out of him on the scramble drill. This is exactly the way it's coached. When the quarterback starts scrambling and the play breaks down, if you're short, go deep, and you see him take off, the defense is all looking at the quarterback, and there you go, touchdown. First high school touchdown for Ashton.
And I think it's where Henry's really matured, because in the past he probably would have just kept running the football, because that's the natural thing for him to do. But now you see the whole defense, not on this shot, but the whole defense comes up when they see what's going on in the backfield.
That's right. His legs are so dangerous, his feet are so dangerous that when you start running around, their eyes are locked in on you. And if those receivers can do a good job of the scramble drill, we're going to find explosive plays in those instances.
And credit to the line as well, that they don't get too far downfield once Henry starts to run.
That's right.
So that puts you up 36-0. You got under 8 minutes to go. Really just trying to get out of here now with no injuries at this point.
Yep, here they come. They got a 4th and short. They go under center for the first time all game, fumble the snap.
Which you see a lot. Teams that don't generally go under center, you see this happen a good bit.
Good little run right here out of Rashard Davis, a young back that's coming up for us. Really good, hard, physical runner. Another one in the stable, that we can just rotate in there and not lose a beat.
Another time you called him not set up, kind of moving around still pre-snap.
another newcomer at running back, Dylan Howard here. Really, really electric, fast kid. He's new to the program, so we're still trying to figure him out a little bit and what he can do. I was really happy to see how physical and hard he ran when he got his opportunity last Thursday.
As we saw last year, you can't have a shortage of too many guys that can run the football for you.
That's right, and it's important to us to get all these guys opportunities and chances and develop these guys. I mean, we don't want to put all our eggs in one basket and then there you go. That's all you got. So as long as these guys show up and put in the work and they deserve it, we're going to give them that chance.
Well, I mean, we expect LJ to carry the ball more than anybody. We expect Bryson McGee to get the ball a good bit as well, but like with any player, you're only one play away from needing somebody else to get in there. So
that's right. Gave Ryland another chance here.
Yeah.
A little short. He makes these in practice routinely. We feel comfortable with him here. We got to clean our operation up a little bit, and we'll clean this up going forward. I have all the faith in the world in Ryland Kerwin.
So now just running the clock out here.
Yeah, we got some of our young guys in here. Good experience against them. I mean, they still got all their dudes in. Their starters, you see them pop a run, but really good experience for these guys that don't get an opportunity to get in as much.
Yeah, by far their best play of the night. Here for
and you see we're right there. We just got to finish the play.
But good job on the back end, not giving up on the play.
That's right.
Keeping that 0 on the board.
Here they go, putting it in the air again. Really good play here out of the corner. Michael Staley, he's a freshman. We think he's going to be a really, really good player. Super athletic, still learning the position a little bit. But, I mean, you see the ball goes in the air, just the athleticism, go up and get it. I mean, he's going to be a really, really electric, good player for us.
Yeah. So that'll pretty much lock down the 0 for you and the donuts for practice this week. 36-0, like I said, probably left some points out there, but still the big takeaway is a dominant week 1 win for you.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, we obviously things that we need to get better at, things that against a really tough opponent, might cost you. But we go out there, if we can be disciplined, be where we're supposed to be when we're supposed to be there, and play our brand of football, I like us to line it up against anybody. So, we just got to clean those things up and, get ready for a tough back half of the non-region schedule, and then, the region opponents.
Player of the game?
Player of the game for me, it's hard for me to pick one out. I want to give it to the entire defense. Okay. When you shut an opponent out, I think that's a whole collective thing. So I'm going to pick the whole defense in my player of the game.
All right, I'll go along with that. So week 1 in the books, now week 2, Fort Dorchester, going over there, TV game. We're going to make a big deal out of this. So going over to take on the Patriots this week, your thoughts on playing them?
Yeah, first time playing them in a real game since my first year. That didn't go so well for us at that moment. So we're a completely different program now. They are too. And, we're looking forward to going over there and putting our best effort forward and, having a different outcome from what it was last time.
So Friday night, the Stags travel to North Charleston to take on Fort Dorchester. Hop in the car and come with us. If not, we'll be right here next week to have the highlights of the game. For Coach Eric Lodge, I am Lane Walford. Thank you for tuning in to the Berkeley Football Coaches Show.
Go Stags.